Hello everybody, my name is Stephen House and this is Full Time Devils. This is a full-time review. Manchester United have put another team to the sword, 4-0 again for the third time this season. We're averaging some serious amount of goals this season and we're also keeping clean sheets at the back. It's all positive in the world of being a Manchester United fan, and we've got some United fans from fan cams, we've got United on YouTube, we've got Jose Mourinho, we've got Statman Dave's 3-point review coming up for you in this video, so keep it locked and we'll get through all of that stuff for you. So the first thing that we're going to talk about then is the match. Obviously Romelu managed to what's he doing? Romelu Lukaku managed to find the net once again and angered all the Everton fans by having the audacity to score against them and having the audacity to put his hand up to his ear after they spent the whole game abusing him and not 60 seconds beforehand been laughing at him for putting a free kick into the wall. For me, it's fair game. You can't moan about a guy once he's left you and complain and give him abuse all the way throughout the game and then expect him to do nothing and be like, oh, you know, whatever when he scores. Like, Everton, you can't have it both ways. Manchester United fans, on the other hand, Wayne Rooney was given a warm welcome and was treated right throughout the match by every single player, by every single fan that was in the Stretford end and the rest of the ground, and was given a warm applause once he left the pitch. And if he'd have scored, I don't know how it would have gone down, to be honest. I don't know if he'd have celebrated, and I guess we never found out. Aside from that, I thought Nemanja Matic had an absolutely fantastic game. I've seen a few people saying that Mkhitaryan was quite poor, but for me I thought Mkhitaryan, given that creative role and being asked to be not just what he normally does but also take over the responsibilities from Paul Pogba, I thought he did that very well. He was trying to make things happen, and sometimes when you're trying to make things happen, taking that little bit of risk, it doesn't come off, and for me that's fine as long as it's in the final third. You can take risks in the final third. I only have a problem when players are taking a risk in the middle or obviously outside our own box. That's when it becomes a problem for me. But again, it's all positive. Manchester United scoring another 4 goals. It's great, isn't it? I'm absolutely delighted to see where we are. Joint top of the league, putting the pressure on. This is exactly where we want to be. And I have to ask you guys as well, because I'm going to come to the comments. We missed Paul Pogba at the weekend, or we didn't have Paul Pogba at the weekend, but did we miss him? I'm seeing some people saying that we didn't miss him, some saying that we did miss him. I thought Fellaini came into midfield and did really well. I still want to see Ander Herrera. I still think he offers that little bit more energy. I was worried before the game yesterday that it could have been a little bit slow, but physically we stood up to that Everton defence and the Everton midfield, which was really compact, and with the way they played Rooney up front, I thought we coped with everything that they offered quite well. I've seen a few shouts with David De Gea for man of the match, but he only had 3 shots to save. If he hadn't have been there, we would have still won. So, you know, I don't know. Right. All right, I think we're going to start again. There's been some mic problems, so... we're going to start it again. Bear with us. How's that? Is it fixed? Yeah. We've fixed it. Apologies, everybody. Are we starting again? Yeah. We are going to start again, so bear with us 2 minutes and we'll restart all this again. Hello everybody, welcome to Full Time Devils. This is the Full Time Review. My name is Stephen Howson, and this is the video where we're going to talk about everything that happened in the game this weekend. We've got Jose Mourinho coming up in his press conference. We've got Statman Dave's 3-point review. We've got the fan cams from outside the game, and we've also got United on YouTube as well. So keep it locked to Full Time Devils throughout this video, and we're going to get stuck straight into it. So Manchester United have beaten Everton 4-0. That is our third 4-0 of the season. This is the sort of Jose Mourinho machine that I really wanted to see when he was appointed last season. Jose himself said he didn't really have the confidence in the abilities of the team to be able to do this sort of thing last season. His additions have been slowly building up to a side that he's got the confidence to do this. I think we still need to be able to see us do it against a big team. Now, we're not going to go to City and beat them 4-0. We're not going to go to Chelsea and beat them 4-0. But I'll be happy going there and expecting Manchester United to go out and try and beat them. That would be happy for me. Whether or not what we're going to see us do that this year, I don't know. So I thought Nemanja Matic was excellent. I thought Mkhitaryan was excellent. I've seen a lot of people complaining about Mkhitaryan's performance, saying that he gave the ball away quite a lot. But I think since he's taken on the additional creative responsibilities that Paul Pogba used to have, I think it's fair game that, he's going to lose the ball a couple of times. But he was the one that was really pushing the envelope. He was the one that was trying to give and go. He was the one that was trying to make things happen in and around that final third, where it was tight, it was congested. They had 3 defensive midfielders and 3 centre-halves. It's going to be tight to really find the space for that. But I thought Mkhitaryan did it pretty well. Obviously, getting on the score sheet himself and providing for other people. So I'm really happy with the performance from everybody. There's nothing more to say apart from that, really, is there? We're scoring goals, we're keeping clean sheets, we're doing what we can do. Now, I've seen some opposition fans saying to us, it's only whoever that you've beat, it's only whoever that you've beat. Well, can we not just be happy that we're beating people? How about that? How about you don't worry about what you're doing, because your club's not beating people, are you? So how about relax? Anyway, here's Jose Mourinho. We've got him coming up with his press conference, only a nice and short one. If you want to see the full thing, then head over to our YouTube channel and you can see the rest of it on there. But take it away, Jose.
I don't know if it is 12 weeks or 12 days, honestly. So any comment, any new, any rumor is totally wrong, because we don't know if it is 12 weeks or 12 days. The player was diagnosed initially after the match because of the conditions of the muscle and the bleeding. The decision was 1 more week to wait and to see really clearly in the scans the dimension of the injury, and nobody in this club spoke about 12 days or 12 weeks, not at all. It's a muscular injury, yeah, in the hamstring, but we have normal procedure and wait a few more days. So it's completely nonsense information.
So Mourinho, obviously, in this press conference talking about Pogba's injury, he's saying that it's all false. Every rumour is that you're hearing is false, because even he doesn't know what the situation is just yet. I imagine that Pogba's undergoing intensive scans to find out exactly what's happening. I'm sure he'll get the best treatment available to him. What do you guys reckon? Let me know in the comments. Do you think we missed him yesterday? I still think there's areas for improvement. I thought we did very well with the Everton midfield and forward line yesterday. Thought Matic was probably pretty key to that. Fellaini did excellent as well. I just think that if you brought Ander Herrera in, you're going to get more of a tempo, more of a forward momentum with him in the team. And I definitely like Mickey. I thought him and Fellaini as like sort of dueling number 8s a little bit, because he was coming quite deep to collect the ball, not in his usual number 10 sort of position. I thought Mickey did really well there. So I'd be interested to see how Mickey does with Herrera and Matic in behind, because I think that just gives us that little bit more pace. That's not to say Fellaini's played bad. I just want to see us just change that little bit of a tempo with the ball on the floor, just a little bit, just a bit of a tweak, really, more than anything. But obviously Mourinho likes his absolute massive giants in midfield, so maybe we won't see that after all. I think Paul Pogba, I don't think we seriously missed him. I think when you look at the result at the end of it, 4-0, I've seen a lot of people saying Everton had us on the ropes at times yesterday. I don't think so. I think what happens in a game of football is when we score an early goal like we did yesterday, and we're putting the pressure on, at some point that team's going to come at us, especially with a good team with a lot of good players in it like Everton have got. They're going to find a rhythm at some point in the game, and they're going to create their own chances. And we dealt with them fine. We wasn't run ragged by any stretch of the imagination. We dealt with them. They had their time on top in the game. That's what happens in football. There's 2 teams. Someone is on top for a period, and then another team comes on top for a period. That's just how it is. And then once a team starts pushing, as we saw against Swansea, as we've saw multiple times this season, when a team really starts to go for it, they open up and then Manchester United go and score some goals, don't they? So that's what happened at the end of the game yesterday. And I think someone else is about to talk about that as well. So let's go and check out what Mr. David, the stat man, has got to say.
Sam and Dave back on Full Time Devils. It's 3-point review time. Let's go. First up, Manchester United blowing teams away in the last 10 minutes of games. Manchester United scored 9 goals in the Premier League this season in the last 10 minutes. That's more than any other Premier League side, but they also created the most chances in the last period of the game and also completed the most dribbles and had the most shots on goal. Mourinho's got Manchester United playing a ruthless counter-attacking style. If United can get a lead and then teams push onto them, they'll hit them on the break for fun. And and that's exactly what we saw again against Everton, with 3 of the 4 goals coming after the 80th minute. But let's move on to Romelu Lukaku, who silenced the Everton fans. Everton fans jeering him through the game. Scored a great goal, a poacher's effort at the back post. What I'm enjoying with Lukaku's movement this season is very different to what United had last season in Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Lukaku is getting in behind. Had a number of chances again where he's played through by his teammates Juan Mata on one occasion and Mkhitaryan on another, and he just missed those chances. But I like that he's getting into those positions. Very positive from Romelu Lukaku. And it was the perfect response to the Everton fans to give them a bit of stick. He also grabbed the assist for the Henrik Mkhitaryan goal as well, with a lovely little through ball for the Armenian to curl home. But let's finish things off with the man of the match. That is Nemanja Matic, another solid display for Manchester United. Without his pal Paul Pogba, Nemanja Matic is going to have to step up and become the playmaker of the side. Against Everton, Matic completed more passes than any other player on the pitch and grabbed the assist for that Antonio Valencia banger. What I liked about his physicality in central midfield was just winning the ball back, recycling it in the final third and just not letting Everton out at all. Nemanja Matic is going to be the signing of the season for Manchester United and in the whole Premier League. I'm so excited. Top of the league, joint with Manchester City. More wins to come. But anyway, if you want to see more analysis, jump over to Statman Dave on YouTube to see more of the 3-point review. Anyway, back to Alson.
Cheers, Dave. And as he said, make sure to go and check out his channel for some decent United and other clubs analysis as well. The link will be in the description as soon as this video finishes. I'm going to come to the comments and see what some of you guys are saying. So, Marco Alonso says, Everton drew with City. Everton did draw with City, and Everton was a lot more robust against City than they was against us, and I think that's a credit to Manchester United. This is a team that did go to the Etihad and get a point, and when they came to Old Trafford, they was nowhere near the pace. I thought United was very, very good last night, and I think people are just looking to put United down and not actually accept that we are a contender this season, and we've been looking fantastic, but for a couple of mistakes, individual errors, one of those doesn't happen. And we win against Stoke, and we've got a perfect record already this season. I think United could go unbeaten for a long time this season, but not just the unbeaten that we had over Christmas period last year. I think the sort of unbeaten where we just put in wins after wins after wins with the occasional draw. So let's go into the comments and let's see. Lil TVHD says, we need Pogba for the big games. We was lucky last night. Don't know about lucky, I thought we was very good. Jay says we lack flow without Pogba. He's demanding the ball and driving forward with it. There was a lot of backwards and sideways passes yesterday. Sometimes that can be because of the formation that you lined up against. Like with 3 defensive midfielders and 3 centre-halves, you have to kind of go sideways and look to the flanks and look to get in behind the wing-backs to try and find a space. And that was where we did find a space most of the time. What about Mata? How is he playing, says Harishi. I think what Mata offers is that one-touch sort of pivot in and around that final third on the edge of the box where you need to create a little bit of space when you need the ball to the tempo of the ball to start being picked up, and one-touch football with someone that's got an excellent touch. That's what Juan Mata brings to it. He's obviously not going to outpace or outjump anybody, is he? Dubsy says Rashford was poor. Yes, now a lot of people say we've got a big bias for Marcus Rashford on the channel, and it's true. We absolutely do. Love the guy. But yeah, yesterday he was poor. I'm not going to deny that he was poor. We always tell you what we think, honestly. I think Marcus Rashford was not at the races yesterday. Someone behind me in the Stretford end said he looks like he's playing drunk, and do you know what? It's the best sort of description that I've heard of how Marcus Rashford played yesterday. He looked just a little bit off it, didn't he? He didn't look... Everything that he tried just didn't seem to come off. Now, he might have had a growth spurt, it might have been anything that's just thrown his balance off or something along those lines, because that's what happens at this sort of age, isn't it? And Sir Alex Ferguson always says you can't expect consistency from young players. I think it's just one of them games. I think it's probably the worst game we've seen Marcus Rashford play, and that's not because it was so bad. I just think it's that most of his games have been pretty high level, haven't they? Mackenzie says Mkhitaryan hasn't been playing well, but I know he's been getting assists. I disagree on that. I think he has been playing well. Pierre says De Gea saved this game. Now, again, I want to talk to you guys about this. How did De Gea save the game? Now, he had 2 shots which was put straight at him, which he saved from very short range, and 1 decent save from long range. I mean, I don't understand how a lot of people were saying De Gea was man of the match. He certainly wasn't a bad player, but I think that might be over-egging it just a little bit. Carcass, you're predicted top 4 this season, and should Herrera play in starting 11 more? Yes, Herrera should be in the starting 11 more. My predicted top 4 this season is United first. I think City are going to be there or thereabouts. Depends how they do once they get deeper into the Champions League. They always seem to screw it up there. They always have this crazy good start, don't they? And then they sort of slip around about game 4 or 5 in the Champions League. I don't know about the rest. I really don't. I don't know if it's going to be Liverpool, Spurs, Chelsea. I think Chelsea will probably sneak into the top 4, and I think Spurs will probably sneak into the top 4. I think with Europe and that thin squad, Liverpool are going to struggle. And I think we might have seen the last of Arsenal. They could be really far off the pace in the next few weeks. Rashford must start being selfish a little, says Sarang. Must start being a little selfish. Should pass when somebody's free in the box. Make your mind up, mate. Do you want him to be selfish, or do you want him to be passing when someone's in the box? Martial is on another level. I think it's interesting what's going on with Martial and Rashford. One of them starts, the other scores. Do you think there's something in the fact that one of them's been hammering away and knackering up a fullback, and when the other one comes on fresh against a tired fullback, they're just finding all this space? Or is it just a case of that teams are opening up at the end of a game to try and get something out of a game, and that's when United are really turning it on? Mourinho's subs have been absolutely out of this world this season. They're scoring some serious number of goals. Never seen anything like it. It's absolutely fantastic. Will the pundits finally admit that United are title contenders now, says Hi, I'm Burb. We all know the truth, don't we? But do you know what? I don't care what the pundits think, to be honest. I know that they're a contender. You guys know that we're a contender. We'll see by the end of May. You can write us off all season, but if we end up winning the title, who cares? Right, the next thing that we have got for you guys then is the fan cams from some of the lads outside Old Trafford yesterday. Let's see what they've got to say.
Hi guys, Adam here. I'm with Ray. We're outside Old Trafford. Ray is back for his first fan cam of the season. Obviously, we got to speak to you during last season under Mourinho's first season. Yep. We're winning 4-0 today. As you just said, that didn't look like a 4-0 game.
Not at any point at all, not until the fourth one went in. And I don't know why we got the fourth one. I don't know what the penalty was for, but I'll take them every day.
Yes!
We're outside here. We've won 4-0, mate. It's mad. It's like, you know what it's like? It's like being under back in the Fergie times. Like,
you're not allowed to say that.
I'm not saying that it's exactly like that, but back in the day, like, you'd come out and you'd win 3-0. And because it's so obvious that you've played well, like, the first thing you do is try and find a complaint, because just to make an interesting conversation.
I felt today we were very static, and I said that Matic, Fellaini in midfield had the potential to do that. But I felt everyone else was too.
I think they were all a bit static. I think he said to Lingard, just go on there and run about like a blue-ass fly and start rattling that back four, he said, because they're all bleeding mountain. He said they've got no movement, any of them. I mean, Keane demonstrated today why he was never good enough for Old Trafford. That's why he went to Everton. I don't know where he gets this idea. He knocked us back. I don't remember us ever being in for him. And I think his performance today demonstrated that. The negative side on our performance, if it's got to be one, again, it's Phil Jones for me. Phil Jones for me is an accident waiting to happen all the time. All the time. He put 2 on a plate today for Wayne Rooney. In older days, Wayne Rooney would have scored the 2. And credit to Wayne Rooney. I think he held his end up. I think he had a decent game today, Wayne Rooney. I think he covered himself a little bit of class. I think he done right. I think he done right to substitute and to give him a round of applause, which he got and truly deserves, because he's done his time here, hasn't he?
How are you feeling, and who's your man of the match?
I'd probably agree with Young, actually. I thought Young was really good. What surprised me today was he did his defensive responsibilities fantastic today. He didn't let anyone past him. I thought having Ashley Young at left back is a bit of a weakness. Maybe get a few people around him for Everton, but he was solid at the back today. I was really happy with how he played, and yeah, as he said, he gives us another option on the attacking side. But I think what the best thing from today was we just beat Everton, a top 8 team, 4-0, and we didn't even play our best football today without our best player in Pogba. If that's not a sign of champions, I don't know what is. So it's good sign for the future.
I need to drop.
That's the fan cams. If you want to go and check out the individual fan cams, you can check them out on our YouTube channel. I've got a cracking comment here, and I've got a job for all you guys, so I'm going to send you all away to go and do me some work. Now, Yazan says, what do you think about Lukaku missing a lot of chances and not being clinical enough? Lukaku's 7 goals in 7 games. Last season, he had the highest percentage of shots to goals. I think he was around about the 65% of shots on target, and his goals accuracy was, I think he was the best in the league. Off the top of my head, I think he is far more clinical than what we saw from Zlatan last season. But can you guys go and do me a favour and tell me how many shots he's taken and how many goals that's resulted in? Obviously 7 goals, but how many shots has it taken him to get 7 goals? Last season, Zlatan was around about 12, I think, %. So if he's had less than 50 shots, then he's already better than Zlatan, isn't he? So you guys let me know what you think in terms of the percentages. Go and do us a little bit of research and I'll read it out and give you a big shout out if you manage to get it. I think United are being far more clinical this season, far more clinical than we was in previous seasons. But can someone get me the data? I can't find it while I'm on here live. So you guys let me know and I'll give it a big read out. LZZZZ says, thoughts on Shaw. He's not looked great in the under-23 so far. I think there's a good chance he's probably going to play today against Chelsea. Hopefully we get to see him start levelling it up again, because anyone who's ready for first team, this counts for the young players or the first team players that come down to play in under-23s or academy football. They've got to be absolutely stand out to have a chance of being the same when they get to Premier League level, and Luke Shaw's not been that. And any player that you think looks all right in under-23 football, all right's not good enough. You have to look ridiculously good at under-23 football to be ready for first team. And that's the problem with the under-23s, is it's just not good enough. It's a poor standard. I think it'd be much better if we had B teams that played league football, and then you'd really start to see what people were made of. Nima says, I still haven't got a thank you for promoting the like button and getting subscription for Full Time Devils yesterday. Was you the guy that came past us in the middle of my fan cam? Well done, son. Thank you. There's your thank you. Charlie says, pundits are so biased against United. They really are. It's not even us being, it's not even us thinking that that's the case, is it? It really is. Tahir says, should Lukaku be rested for Burton? Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. We've got some big games coming up. Absolutely. Lukaku should have scored at least 10. Really? In 7 games? Really? He's 7 in 7. I think that's about as... Really? Come on, man. 24 shots. People are saying 24. People are saying 26. Let's split the difference and say it's 25 shots. So he's about... What would he be looking at there? He's about 28% accuracy. That's good. Anything from 25 to 35 is really good. So he's about twice as accurate as Zlatan was. So I think we can put that to bed. He has been pretty clinical. We should play the kids in the League Cup and go for it as far as we can with them. Don't need the extra fixtures this season, says McLaren. I agree on that one. I think this is the time that we should really be bringing in, maybe not the likes of Gomez, although I would love to see him off the bench, but certainly the likes of the fringe players, Demi Mitchell, maybe even Luke Shaw. Maybe Shaw only plays 45 minutes tonight and he gets a whole game against Burton Albion. If he's not going to be ready to play against Burton Albion, is he ever going to be ready to play for Manchester United? I think that's a really big question that we need to ask. I think there's players in and around the team, in and around the fringes of the team. I fully expect Michael Carrick to play on Wednesday. But I wouldn't be shocked if Mourinho plays a really strong team, to be honest. Bryn Lawrence says, Griezmann or Bale? We're talking about Manchester United, mate. Let's talk about Manchester United players. Bring back the Central League, says Peter Jackson. Yeah, when the class of 92 was coming up, they was playing against the likes of Marine and Livingston Anns and like proper teams that was going to do something against them. It's so vanilla playing in under 23s. They're just playing against the same players that they've played against since they was 8 or 9 years old. It's not good enough. Should Angel Gomez start against Burton? No, I think that's a bit of an ask for him just yet. I definitely think he could be involved in the squad though, and should be involved in the squad. He looks ridiculous in the under 18s at the moment. Svi Mallow says, when Axel starts getting games, it's going to be hard to justify not starting him. That is an excellent shout, and I think Axel should definitely be one of those that gets brought in against Burton. But I think he's probably going to play Lindelof and Smalling to give them a little bit more game time. But yes, I definitely think Axel deserves to be involved. Andrew says, Rashford isn't as good as everyone say. All right, mate. How about relax? It's too early to say that power has shifted to Manchester. Is it too early to say that power has shifted to Manchester? I think the title's coming to Manchester this year. Pretty sure it's going to be number 21 for us. Mourinho's not going to pull Gomez from the under-18s to start. Well, he might. You never know. If Martial played like Rashford, Mourinho would sell him. I don't think you've got any evidence for that. What do I think this partnership will be against Burton, says Pierre. Just mentioned. I think it'll be Smalling and Lindelof, but I'd love to see Axel. Greek Freak says, do you think it's going to be deja vu in regard to the fact that City and United have a dogfight for the title? Not really, no, because it's a totally different era for both clubs, isn't it? I think it'd be interesting to see how it goes down. I think it could go like the 1996 season where City had this gung-ho entertaining team that we saw under Kevin Keegan, but ultimately quite tactically naive because they've got no plan B. And if they lose a defender, they're awful at the back. Now, this is what that Newcastle team did. They put teams to the sword. They scored tons of goals, but really, when it came down to the meat of it, sometimes it's better to grind out 1-0 wins. It's what Manchester United did that season. Now, we've got the manager to do that, especially against the big teams, grinding out those 1-0 wins. But I think we're in for a hell of a season, especially as we're not just all going to be competing for the Premier League. We're obviously going to be competing in Europe as well. Tuanzebe can play right back, says Angelo. He's a 70% effective as a right back though. He's a centre half. He is a natural born centre half. He needs to play there. Why did Koeman get so angry at Jose's top four comment? Maybe because he just watched his team get slapped 4-0. Maybe that was why. Ozil on a free, says Paul Pogba. Now, I saw this last week and I was like, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me on the face of it, why Ozil should come to United, because you've got Mata, albeit Mata's contract is up at the end of the season. You've got Mkhitaryan. Is Ozil that much of a difference to those two players where we're pretty stacked in that type of player? Do you not think we need other types of players that are going to get to the byline and throw crosses in? Do you not think that would be more useful for United? I'm not saying that don't get Ozil, but I'm saying there's a bigger need elsewhere that we should be concentrating on. Messi has 5 goals in 4, but with 31 shots. I'd say Romelu is all right. There you go. 3 at the back versus Burton needed. He might do, Hassan. Maybe he will. Maybe he will. Thoughts on Baye? I think Baye is fantastic, and even when he gets booked, it makes me laugh. The sort of challenges that he gets done for bookings for. Wilson plays against Burton, says Liam Connolly. I'd be very surprised, to be honest. I think he's got Martial and Rashford hammering on the door to be starting, and I think it'd be one of those that does start against Burton. Right, we have got another segment coming right up for you, and that's United on YouTube. And if you want to subscribe to all of these guys, the links will be in the description below and also on screen. So come and check these lot out. United on YouTube.
Manchester United 4, Everton 0. Antonio Valencia, what a cracking goal that he scored from the Stretford end. For me, the best goal of this entire game week in the English Premier League.
Not the best of performances for Manchester United. 1-0 for a long while and was a bit nervy, but we've got 3 late goals.
Hello everybody, apologies for the outside view. I'm actually on tour at the moment, so it's difficult to find actually a place to send a little video in, but I hope you're alright at Full-Time Devils. Manchester United have another 4-0 victory, which seems to be the trend for us these days, and a nice little 10-minute blast of 3 goals as well. It was a little bit tricksy there for the first 70 or 80 minutes. A smashing goal from Valencia.
Really getting into a purple patch of form. He's really justifying his signing for Manchester United, and I think he'll continue to score goals for us, at least 20 this season. Wayne Rooney on his return to Old Trafford got a warm welcome. I'm happy that he got it as well.
Great to see Manchester United winning when we're not playing quite so well, being a bit more clinical this season than we were last season. It's great to see that we're swatting teams aside. Teams that we may well have slipped up against last season at home had a lot of chances and not scored in. So great to see 4 different players getting on the score sheet. So we're getting a variety of goals.
I thought we looked pretty dominant, to be honest with you. It would have been an absolute travesty if we hadn't have got the win today. But yeah, a really, really good result again. Lukaku's goal was sweet, wasn't it?
For me, Wayne Rooney was my favourite Manchester United player, and to see the standing ovation that he got as well, and also a handshake from Jose Mourinho, was wonderful. I mean, all that he has accomplished at Manchester United has been superb. 253 goals, countless amount of trophies as well. So he has truly been a wonderful servant for our football club.
Got a lot of games coming thick and fast now, so we're back level with Manchester City at the top. We've opened up a little gap over the other teams because quite a few of the other teams have slipped up. All the other top teams, have slipped up this weekend, so it's been a decent weekend for Manchester United. Just roll on the next game for me.
We next have a Burton Albion in the League Cup, so hopefully we can continue and progress and continue this winning trail going. 7 shots on target we had in this game, and we scored 4 goals. If we can continue that ratio of scoring 1 goal every 2 shots we have on target, then we're going to be handily placed in all the tournaments and competitions for the rest of the season. Come on United, let's go.
Nice little celebration as well, which is always sweet to see. And just as Rooney had gone off, we got the second. So yeah, great little 4-0 victory. Let's hope this is the trend going on for the rest of the season. And here's so many more wins.
Cheers to everybody who got involved in sending us a video in United on YouTube. If you would like to get involved in United on YouTube, then hit the description, find our email address and get involved sending us a video for the next game. Right, I'm going to come back to the comments and see what you guys are saying. Zane says, any chance Shaw plays against Burton? I said that earlier. I think there's probably a good chance that he plays at least half the game tonight, but I reckon he's got a feature against Burton if he's got any chance of coming back. If it's not him, it could be Demi Mitchell. But it could be a strong team from Jose Mourinho. You know what he's like. He loves the League Cup. He likes to get that one in the bag nice and early. Considers it a major trophy, doesn't he? So I wouldn't be shocked to see Mourinho go quite hard on this. The only thing that makes me think that he might have changed tactic a little bit is the fact that when he mentioned the season targets, he didn't even mention the League Cup. He said he wants to win the Premier League, he wants to win the FA Cup, and he wants to get to at least the last 8 of the Champions League, which I think is pretty realistic goals for me. But the fact that he didn't mention the League Cup when it's a cup that he so obviously likes to win was a bit of a strange one. What do you lads reckon? Do you reckon he's going to be going for it? Do you reckon he's going to play a rotated side? What do you want to see? Let me know in the comments and I'll read some of your comments out. Jacko Knight says 3-4-3 against Burton. I don't like the 3-4-3. I like the 3-5-2. I don't like the 3-4-3 because I think what you get when you play the 2 up front, I don't think Jose plays a 4-4-2 because of how short it leaves him in midfield. I think the only way you're going to get 2 up front from Jose is if he plays a 5-man midfield. And that's how I'd like to see it. The 3 across the front, I think it can be improved on it with a 2 up front. I'd love to see a partnership. Alex Rindelas says, I'd love to see Pulisic come to United from Dortmund. It's not a transfer video, mate. I'm not talking about transfers, we're just talking about football. We had a whole window of transfers. We'll talk about that in the next transfer window, all right? How is Herrera going to get back into the starting 11? Surely deserves a proper run of games. Well, he was poor against Stoke, or he was under par against Stoke, but you can put that down to rustiness. You can put it down to his first game back after a bit of a knock. You can put it down to a number of things. But yes, I agree. I think he should definitely be given the opportunity to get back into the team. Pranit says DJ Buffon on Nissan Burkhardt should feature against Burton. I'm not sure how DJ's been playing because I've missed a couple of the under-23 games. Nissan Burkhardt's absolutely on fire in the under-18s, but I think he's probably like well down the pecking order to start up front. There's no chance that he's going to... This is Jose Mourinho we're talking about here, isn't it? So there's no chance he's going to pluck him from the under-18s. I think Angel Gomez has got very little chance, and he's the only one that I think has got half a chance from the 18s. So Nissan's probably way off it. Although, if you do watch under-18s, Nissan's been banging them in this season. Kelvin says, give chances to our youngsters, rest the first teamers for the Premier League and the Champions League. I'd love to see that. Khan says he said he didn't like the Europa, yet he went for it, so don't take his word for it. Surely he wants to win everything. That's what makes him the special one. He did rotate early in the Europa League, if you remember, though, and he only really started going for it in the last couple of group games that we needed to win to progress. It's mad to think that now, isn't it? And then, obviously, once it was a knockout, it was on for us to win, and then he definitely focused on that more than the league towards the last month of the season. But I think early on, he definitely rotated, because that was where the likes of Schneiderlin got games and stuff like that. So maybe he will, maybe he won't. 2422 says 6th in the Full-Time Devils Fantasy League. That's not bad. There's about 1 million people in there. Well done, mate. Nabil says Mitchell McTominay should start in the Cup. You might get one of them, I reckon. A lot of people asking for 3-5-2. Pierre says it'd be good if Jose focused on the League, FA Cup and the Champions League. Yeah, I agree. Because they're the ones that matter at the end of the season, aren't they? We saw last season, we win 2 trophies. We don't even have a parade. We just go cool, throw them in a museum and concentrate on what's happening this season. Jake Austin says, I reckon it'll be a chance to give youth players a run, maybe get Lindelof's confidence up and give Herrera a run out and see what young players he has available to him. It'd be interesting if Jose does, wasn't it? Because I think there's an element that Jose only played Angel Gomez at the end of last season to get that youth record and play him as a 16-year-old. Albeit, he is a 16-year-old with an unbelievable amount of talent. But I think he only did that to get the record. So it'd be interesting to see what he does now, that there's not really a lot of pressure on him to play any more youth because of all the youth that he gave last season. If he plays youngsters in this game against Burton, it's because he wants to, and I think that'll be really interesting. Damian at right back says Hassan. Shashwat says a rotated side would be best just to get in the young guns. Christopher says Martial must start. He's better than Rashford. I think he's different. MS94241 says House and out. I agree. Andy.com says Joel or Romero in goal. Now that is an interesting one, how that's going to go down. Do you think how good Romero was for us last season? And I think Romero is statistically our best ever goalkeeper with, I think, something along the lines of 2/3 of the games that he's played, he's kept a clean sheet. That's crazy. Block Party says, everyone criticising Rashford decided to support United because we won a trophy. Bold claim. Anthony Marshall says, will Marshall play against Burton? Tony, you need to ask Mourinho, mate. I can't tell you whether you're going to play or not. Righty, that'll do for the comments. That'll do for the video. So thank you guys for tuning in. We're going for 500k this season, and you guys can help us get us there. So please give this video a share if you enjoyed it. Get involved in United on YouTube if you want to do that. Go and check out all their channels. Give Dave a follow as well. And that's it from us this week. We're back again for Burton. We've got loads of matchday content coming out, so make sure not to miss any of that one. And we'll see you soon.